A very good evening and warm welcome to this valedictory session of the third international conference of Jindal Center for the Global South. I am Dr. Hibatullah Adam, Associate Professor of Economics, Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs, and the Executive Director of Jindal Center for the Global South. I want to start giving you a brief about the events that we have organized on 5th and 6th of February 2022. So it goes back to October 2021. We have launched two international events, an international conference and international SDGs. The conference was on the topic of the rise of the Global South and the future of world post-COVID-19 pandemic. The aims of the conference was to examine and give a better understanding of the profound challenges to the international system post-COVID-19 pandemic. The contest is our second international SDGs contest, and it is about designing and carrying out a project serving the local community to get closer to achieving the global goals. Over 2 days, February 5th and 6th of 2022, we have gathered 26 guest speakers and panelists from India, Nepal, Russia, and South Africa. They are all members of the International Academic Committee and international organizations. Our conference has covered, besides the side event, which is SDGs, has covered 5 thematic panels. Panel 1 was about the financing for sustainable and equitable development. Panel 2, global public health, ethics, food security, and transnational mitigation strategies. Panel 3, social policies, labor market, and gender equality. Panel 4, reconfiguration of the Global South, challenges and opportunity. And the final panel, agriculture sector, environment, challenges, and sustainable development. 60 faculty members, doctoral research fellows, and master students have submitted and presented their research papers. Over 70 participants from different countries have attended the conference. And on day 2, we had our side event, the SDG contest. So we had 5 teams have presented their SDGs projects for our second international SDGs contest. A detailed report about the conference and the contest is going with all our recommendations and main takeaway points. Is going to be published during this week, and we are going to send to all the attendees and participants this detailed report. Now I would like to welcome our eminent guest speakers for the valedictory session today. Dr. Ravinder Rena, Professor of Economics and Internationalization Project, a leader at the NW Business School, Northwest University in South Africa. Professor Rena is Professor of Economics. He also serves as an adjunct Professor of Economics for Master and Doctorate programs at Monarch Business School, Monarch University in Switzerland. He received many prestigious international awards. He wrote more than 10 books and published more than 120 articles in reputed national and international peer-reviewed journals. Besides, he has presented over 40 papers in national and international conferences and seminars. He has widely written in the areas of economics, of education, development economics, inclusive growth, globalization and higher education, microfinance, rural entrepreneurship, WTO, sustainable development, foreign direct investments, and development aid in Africa. Our second guest speaker today is Professor Upadhyay. So Professor Upadhyay is Professor of Economics and at IIT Delhi, and he is also a professor in affiliated professor to the Indian Political Economy Association in India. Professor Upadhyay has aerial taught at many universities inside and outside India, like IIT Kanpur and the University of Rajasthan in India, and University of New Brunswick and McMaster University in Canada. He is member of steering council of the World Association of Political Economy. He published about 100 of research papers in reputed Indian and international journals, and he has as well authored, edited several books on subjects of Indian economy and political economy. His research area of interest is development economics and political economy. So now we'll start our first valedictory session, this session, by asking our eminent guest speakers to give their keynote address to our session. So starting by Dr. Ravinder Rena. Dr. Rena.
Yes, Professor Heba, thank you very much for the kind introduction about me. It's always a proud privilege and a great honor for me to be part of your seminar series or conference series. I think I've been part of your events almost. Can you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, Professor, yes.
Yeah, almost in every event that you organize, I've been taking part, I think for the past 2-3 years, and I am really happy to take part. I also thank the OP Jindal Global University for setting up the OP Jindal Center for Global South and make you as the executive director of that. I really feel proud of that because many universities, we got more than 1,040 universities in India, but how many universities they could able to set up a specialized center, more research on the global South issues. So we need to think about that. Probably the West and the European countries, maybe the North American countries, they may not be interested, but it is the duty of all the developing world and the third world nations. They need to take this as a priority and try to debate and discuss the pertinent issues and the way forward to make this movement alive. Ladies and gentlemen, I also feel proud that I'm a citizen of third world nations. I've been serving in Africa for more than 2 decades, and as a proud citizen of African continent, as a proud Indian, and I am proud, probably academician belongs to this third world or developing countries or South countries. So we need to look at the paradigm, what is happening in this third world. We speak a lot yesterday. Professor Mohan was speaking, and other fellow speakers were also speaking on these issues. We need to think that if you look at the global population, ladies and gentlemen, we got about 7.9 billion people. And how many people living in these third world countries? According to IMF estimates, as I indicated yesterday, that probably 75% of the people, 75% of the globe is covered by this third world. So which means that we got about 6.7 billion people living in this third world actually. Now, if you look at realistically, ladies and gentlemen, China being the largely populated country in the world, and although they say second world, China is second world, Russia, former Russian countries are second world. So we don't need to go to that definition. But the third world, China is also part of it. India is also part of it, being the second largest populated country. Now, Indonesia is part of it. Pakistan is part of it. If we combine the population of these 4 countries alone from Asian continent itself, that would cover probably more than 50% of the total population of the world. So if we take Africa as a continent where we have 55 countries, none of the African continent is a developed country actually. So we do not possess even a single country, including South Africa, though South Africa is the second largely developed economy in the African continent. Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa, but none of these 2 also part of the developed or first world countries yet, ladies and gentlemen. So therefore, if we combine African population, which is more than 1.3 billion, and then one can count, one can calculate the figures. We got 6.7 billion people. We are the majority, but we are considered as minority in terms of economic size, ladies and gentlemen. So we need to work hard. We need to change the face of this actually. We can do that together. And if you look at the African continent, probably I was quoting yesterday in my inaugural speech about DRC Congo. And DRC Congo alone has got probably abundant natural resources. You talk about diamonds, you talk about timber, you talk about maybe other natural resources, gold and so on and so forth. South Africa has also got plenty of gold, plenty of diamonds, plenty of platinum. The platinum deposits of the world that are centered in South Africa, particularly in the province where I'm staying and working, that is Northwest Province. And Northwest Province is the center of the total global platinum deposits of this world, one has to think about. So Africa is rich. Africa is the continent which is providing, for instance, Ethiopia exports 80% of the total coffee imports of America. Talk about Europe as a continent. Europe import more than 70 to 80% of the natural resources or raw materials from either Asia or from Africa, or from probably Latin America to some extent. So now the whole world economy, directly or indirectly, depending upon the natural resources of the third world. But still, we are untouchables. We are still far from the mainstream of the economies. So we need to think and we need to change this kind of perception, ladies and gentlemen. So how we can change the perception? A perception cannot be changed overnight. This is we are building more walls than building more bridges. So we need to change that concept actually. So the first world countries, so we have now, today we got about 4 worlds. First world is so-called West European countries. They colonized us for more than 200 years. They exploited all our natural resources. They exploited all our cheap laborers. They exploited everything from us and they make themselves rich. Now, morally, ethically, they are not rich, ladies and gentlemen. It is we, till today, whether it is Africa, Asia, or Latin America, we are much richer than those so-called rich countries or developed or first world countries. We must think about that. And the concept of the richness has to be redefined, actually. Now, you go to any country in African continent, they are not poor by any definition. If we talk about WHO, World Health Organization, they say that the person who is living below poverty line, if he secure or if he could able to obtain a food that is equivalent to 2,100 kilocalories power in the rural areas, and maybe 1,700 kilocalories power in the urban areas. So if they secure less than that food calorie power, then they are the poor people. But in Africa, nobody is starving to death, except few mass medias like BBC, CNN, and other mass medias. They fabricate the stories from Africa stating that they are starving to death. And from Sudan, we have seen a lot of people. From Ethiopian famines, we have seen a lot of people, they're dying. It is not true, ladies and gentlemen. It is at least the people, they got free bananas. They can eat bananas, even they can just go and they can pluck bananas and they can eat. They can eat any kind of fruit. They can eat any kind of cassavas and maybe sweet potatoes and so on and so forth. So still we consider Africans are poor people. That is completely wrong. The other point I wanted to make it clear here, ladies and gentlemen, is that Africa has been colonized for probably about 200 years or so. Now, when Africans are colonized, when Indians colonized, Chinese were colonized, all part of the world has been colonized. And we still welcome them. We still warmly give them everything without hiding anything from us. And we try to learn the language. And they never learn our language, actually. It is we will learn the language. So we are much smarter than them. We are much cleverer than them. We have more wisdom than those people, actually. They are narrow-minded people, in fact. So I'm not trying to blame probably the rich countries here, but I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the frustration here, how they divide the world, first world and the third world. That is not acceptable, ladies and gentlemen. So all the academicians, we are the people from India, we are the people from Africa, we are the people from Asian continent, including China. We are the one who is building America and make America as the largest economy, not the Americans who born and brought up and developed with probably 300, 400 years generations. Absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. It is the people who migrated. It is the people who are working hard day and night. It is, if you go to the Silicon Valley, it is majority of the 30 to 40% of the Indians who are working in Silicon Valley and developing the IT sector. Whether it is Google, whether it is Apple, whether it is Microsoft, you talk about anything IT companies, even Facebook. So we cannot undermine the efforts or the contributions made by the people coming from the third world, ladies and gentlemen. Third world community, these 6.7 billion people are the one who is building this world. And the minority people, they cannot claim that we own everything. We own 50% or 70% of the wealth of this world. Absolutely no. It doesn't make any kind of realistic sense, ladies and gentlemen. So we need to think about that. So my message, in the interest of time, my message to all the academicians who are sitting here in this forum is that it's not only today we are talking about global South issues. We need to take this as a walk. We need to make this walk and run and galloping with a high speed. And we need to make this as a movement. We have great leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Marshal Tito and also Abdul Nasser from Egypt. And probably we have Sukarno from Indonesia. These are the Nkrumah from Ghana. These are the 5 great leaders. They come with an idea that we need to start a non-aligned movement. A non-aligned movement, we never even heard about it. We never even see the growth of it, actually. So we, the academicians, we, the scholars, we, the people of this world, we need to work hard. We need to resurrect what is, it has not been rising, actually. The topic, it is more optimistic. The topic that Dr. Heba has chosen for this is rising the global South. Is more optimistic view, actually. But we need to make this as a reality. So therefore, it is the duty of every one of us. It is not duty of OP Jindal University or Professor Heba or 1 or 2 professors who are working in that line. It is the duty of every academician, every citizen of this 6.7 billion people, ladies and gentlemen. So we need to work for this. We need to change the face of this world, actually. So that is only possible when we work together hand in hand with a common objective. So with these few words, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to conclude by stating that hope is considered to be a poor man bread. And if we are optimistic, we can achieve a lot. At one stage, India has been the largest economy in the world for more than 1,800 years. And it is only for the past 151 years, America has been the largest economy. So we have the potential, we have the power, and with the leaders who can work hard, not only for themselves, but for this world, for this third world. So those are the leaders that need to be encouraged. Those are the leaders that need to be supported in every endeavor. So with this great solidarity, we can achieve and we can make third world as a first world and as a first world as third world, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.